Well, this is debate number 2 on the Urban Debate this evening, and we're talking about real estate regulation. Now, for over a year, we've been campaigning on this channel that we have a regulator in our country, and finally, after missing its deadline desperately, the Maharashtra government has released its real estate rules. What we discover, viewers, when we read through these rules very carefully, is that the rules have been diluted. They've diluted them terribly. First of all, just to point out to you the kind of dilution that we're looking at, the escrow account for ongoing projects, any money that has been collected up till now will not have to be deposited in an escrow account, letting developers who have delayed projects completely off the hook. Secondly, included in the cost of construction will be money borrowed from money lenders, not just financial institutions and banks, but money lenders. What does this mean? What sort of a massive loophole does that leave developers? Thirdly, builders are now allowed to sell parking. Builders are allowed to frame their own time frame for conveyance. If we're talking about a township, the conveyance needn't be done until the last building of the entire township is finally complete. What sort of a time frame is that for conveyance? There are several gaping loopholes where the government of Maharashtra has watered down this developer to a point where it has absolutely no teeth and it will serve absolutely no purpose. If you're a home buyer and you were hoping for justice to come from the real estate developer, then viewers, I'm disappointed to tell you that is not going to happen. Joining me on the show this evening, Parimal K. Shroff, very senior advocate and solicitor who's been representing the real estate industry for a very long time. He is an expert as far as law is concerned. Pankaj Kapoor, Managing Director of Lycis Forest. Ramesh Prabhu, Chairman of the Maharashtra Societies Welfare Association. Aditya Pradhan, Advocate of the Mumbai High Court. Rohit Gera, Managing Director, Gera Developments. Rajan N. Bandelkar, Vice President, West Naredco, and Uday Vavikar, Vice President of the Consumer Court Bar Association. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. As the Maharashtra government has released a very diluted version of the real estate regulatory rules, where does that leave the customer? And I want to start with the person who represents customers on this panel, and that is Ramesh Prabhu. Ramesh Prabhu represents the Societies Welfare Association. We've been talking about this regulator for a very long time, Ramesh. Disappointed?
100% disappointed. We never expected that this type of, hidden game will be played by the government of Maharashtra. Because when we talk about transparency, the transparency needs whatever information related to the flats and all the details related to the title, everything which is collected by the authorities should be put on the website so that everybody is able to understand what is the plan, everything. And if you see the website, whatever information is going to be collected by the authority, that will not be disclosed to the
will not be disclosed.
people.
So your first point, okay, let's take this point by point so our viewers can understand what we talk about when we're saying dilution. You're saying that there are certain details that have to be disclosed to the regulator.
That's correct.
But the regulator is not going to put all of those details onto the website, and that takes power away from prospective home buyers. Is there anybody on the panel who wants to rebut that point? The fact that home buyers who will not have access to all of that information are effectively being robbed of power by these rules written by the Maharashtra regulator. Rohit Gera, go ahead.
Sure.
Rebut.
I don't think it says that you're not supposed to provide that information to a home buyer. All they're saying is you have to provide the information to the regulator. It doesn't have to be put into the public domain where some miscreants can get access to the information. We've talked a number of times about the blackmail that's currently going on, the RTI activism under the banner of activism, where you're held to ransom. The government is only trying to ensure that those kind of issues don't become a problem. They are not for a second saying don't provide the information. They're not for a second saying don't share it with a potential home buyer. Where's the need to share it, to kind of publish it in the public domain? There's no need for that.
Same was there in MOFA as well. Whenever we pay the
Aditya.
money, we make the agreement, still
Aditya.
the information was not made available.
No, in fact, there is one more provision.
Well, you now have a
under the
regulator.
DC
Go ahead and
regulations,
complain.
disclosure of all building
So
plans
that
and
means the
permissions is
consumer has to run
mandatory.
pillar to post.
Such
And
disclosures
nothing
are
is
mandatory
for them.
under the Act.
But
How
why
can
then
you
this
conceal them
regulatory
from the
authority? What is the
public?
show
I
business
fail to-
going
I
on?
fail to understand
This
this
is not the way
restriction.
the show business should go on. It is very much ridiculous.
So Rohit Gera, what you suggest is that every prospective buyer needs to visit the developer and request a copy of the plans and request a copy of the details that is not available on the website of the regulator.
Well, Faye, He's buying a home which he's going to pay his EMIs for the next 25 years, right? Are you suggesting that he doesn't even visit the developer and doesn't even visit the project to actually see what's going on the site? I mean, is that what we're expecting now? That the customer just goes across, goes to the regulator and says, hey, I'm buying, you're not buying soap in a store for God's sake.
Well, Rohit Gera, I think the question here is about disclosure and access to information
Yeah, so provide
for
the
customer.
disclosure.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to
Developers
have
don't have an issue with
to.
disclosing.
Every time I buy a mutual fund or an insurance policy, I don't have to go to the manufacturer of that product and say, please give me the
But
rules
that's the whole
and the
problem.
manner
This
in
is
which
not a
this has
mutual
been
fund.
created. The manner in which this has been created, the information is available to me and is made
I'm
available
sorry.
to me by the regulator on the website.
I'm sorry.
I don't understand why the real estate industry has to be any different. Uday Vavikar.
I'm
Every
really
single
surprised.
home is different
I'm
from the
really
next
surprised
one.
at
It's
the
not a
comment.
mutual
Rohit,
fund.
please. I'm really surprised that a comment should come from Gera builders like this for the simple reason that transparency is a heart for any customer. That is the right of a consumer in the modern era.
Yeah.
And if he wants to, I was always saying, Gera, that we must have accreditation of builder, and that is how now it is coming to. Why we are scared? What kind of blackmail we are scared if we are clean off? Why are you, then why are you taking such a information? That is also another question.
Even
if you look
title
at
report is not made available.
I didn't understand.
Title
I mean,
report
this
of
is
the
something
land,
very, very
what type
surprising.
of land he is acquiring, how the buildings are constructed, what is the sanction.
what is the
plan.
hodgepodge that you are scared about?
Nothing. It is
I
available.
don't
It's a
think-
public domain. It should be available on the public
In
domain.
fact, Mr. Gera,
Why should it be in the public
Mr.
domain?
Gera, I
Why
also
not?
object to your referencing RT activists as extortionists. If there's if
I
there's
didn't
an
say
extortion,
all.
go to the
I
police.
didn't say all.
But don't use the
I
threat
did
of
not say
extortion
all.
to promote opacity in the industry.
I did not say all.
Parimal Shroff, should building plans, title deeds and other details be made available to prospective customers in the interest of disclosure on the regulator's website?
Why should
Parimal
the JD
Shroff.
terms of a
Parimal
developer with a
Shroff.
landowner
Rohit
go
Gera,
to
answer
the
would
question
be
was to
that
Parimal Shroff.
looking at the RERA rules which have come by, I believe that these rules are answering the concern of the industry that there is supposed to be there are competitors who will also come to know about various information which will be available with the regulator, but which will not be in public domain. Now the question is that ultimately these rules are subject to Right to Information Act. Now if at all somebody wants to have it, I believe that the Right to Information Act path will be open to them. It does not mean that they will not be available. But at the same time, in the first instance, this does not become available on the public domain, and they are available with the regulator, which cannot be changed. So basic information and basic particulars are given, and they will remain on the website available to people who access the website. And therefore, to my mind, the rules are making a judicious balance as to what will be within the control of the RERA authority,
Right.
but which will not be available to the
Pankaj
people
Kapoor, I think there's a
merely
very
by
good
visiting
point
it.
that Mr.
They may
Shroff
not be the
made, which is
prospective real
that
purchaser.
these regulatory rules are addressing the concerns of the industry,
Absolutely.
not so much of the customer. Pankaj Kapoor.
You know, in fact, when the act was being drafted, and last 3-4 years, we just wrote about there are 3 pillars for this particular act. One is transparency, accountability, and efficiency. What really looks like that transparency has been removed. And why I mean to say that transparency has been removed, if you look at the maximum amount of problem which has happened and economic offenses has happened where the consumer does not know what he's buying. So the kind of a
And
disclosure...
most of it in the title deed. Most of it in the title deed.
So the kind of a disclosure which was made available where the developer had to give a detail about the carpet area of the flats, layout plan, sanction plan, open area, FSI calculation details and all those things. I was thinking it may usher an era for sales on the carpet area basis, because we have been talking about super built up, 50%, 60%, 70% loading, this kind of era which has been going in. Consumer who is buying 500 square feet of a carpet area being asked to sell, to buy 900 to 1,000 square feet, that kind of a deception I thought will go away. But
Well, not only has it not gone away, Pankaj Kapoor, it has been absolved. It has been absolved.
Yeah.
Where now it says that you can declare if you sold it on carpet, you sold it on super built up, you sold it on whatever it is. Now we'll absolve all of it and we'll wipe that under the carpet. But this is the thing that really concerns me. Rajan Gadekar, I come to you with this. This is the thing that really concerns me. This is the lacuna. This is the dilution. This is the thing that we should be worried about. Now, agreed that the worst case scenario is in the NCR region, but in Mumbai and Pune, we've seen terrible cases when developers have diverted funds that they collected from customers onto other things, and then construction comes to a halt because they don't have enough money to finish the building that they actually sold. Now, the solution that we were hoping for from the regulator was that the regulator would insist that ongoing projects will have to escrow their money. Here's what has actually happened. The regulator says only money that is receivable now onwards will have to be put in an escrow account, in an account and used only for construction. Money that has been received up till now, nobody knows where that is going. Nobody has any account for. Nobody is asking about the money that has been collected. So what happens? Yes. Mr. Shroff, what happens to customers today who are waiting for homes that will never be built?
Faith, today the rules are very clearly mentioning that hereafter, from the date when this new rules and new act will come into picture, whatever sales take place, the amounts will be collected and they will be deposited 70% into the escrow account. Now, it can't be that this will be retrospective and all the monies which have been received in the past, it's impossible to do so.
It was possible to collect it, Mr. Shroff, when they made the sale. Uday Vavekar.
In fact, I am really surprised at what Mr. Shroff is saying. He is aware that MOFA was always retrospective from 1963. There we did not say anything. Today, when it comes to accountability on the projects which are incomplete, today when it comes to the projects where there is no occupation certificate, no completion certificate, you are saying just account for your 70% spend, and if you have not diverted the funds, why you should be scared off? And why this accountability, why this go-by is given?
If the construction has happened as per construction-linked payment, then technically there's nothing to worry about. Rajan Bandelkar, I'm sorry, I haven't come to you up till now. I want to understand, and I know that there was representation made by both groups, CREDAI and NAREDCO, to the government of Maharashtra, repeatedly saying, please don't make it retrospective. You obviously got what you want. Where does this leave customers who are waiting for homes that are never going to be built, Rajan?
Let me first congratulate Chief Minister as well as Housing Minister. See, they are given an excellent RERA from the point of Maharashtra. If you see other states, this what Maharashtra government has given, it is much more better. According to the previous projects, which are ongoing projects, if they tell to bring in back the money, see, no rules can be made retrospective.
Once if they say bring back the money, finish your thought.
It is not going to be possible. See, it is not going to be possible.
So there are builders who have taken money, who have diverted that money, but it's not possible for them to bring that money back.
So on the day one, what will happen? You will get into the litigation. So you want to get into the litigation, or you want the completed home? See,
how is the home going to be completed in this case? How will the home be completed in this case?
So I will tell you, for that matter, in the basic act, see, these are the rules. The act is there in Act Section 4 LC, which says that developer has to give a regular declaration as well as undertaking. See, when the regulator comes, the developer has to give an undertaking when he is going to complete the project. And if he doesn't complete the project, the authority can take it over.
It says if the estimated cost of the project is more than what is going to be collected, then 100% of the amount should be going into the allotment. What if someone has collected 90% and not started any construction at all, which I will give you cases where it has happened.
So
what happens in that case? What will the developer do? Where will the money come? Isn't it the same thing if you're expecting him to give an undertaking and finish the project, or you're expecting him to bring the money back and finish the project? Isn't that the same thing? Why the loophole?
Because I will tell you, the basic price and the construction, it is not required 70%. You try and understand.
There is one point.
I am really astonished. This is like builders talking. I am really astonished. Section 4 of MOFA very clearly stated that you have to, even if you take any sum of money, you have to register an agreement, and you shall not take more than 20%, and that was a guideline to RERA while adopting, when I was on the recommendatory committee of the RERA, that at booking time we will not take more than 20%. In spite of that, now builders have collected, and I have got a list of n numbers of builders to the tune of 90% and not completed the project. Are you going to put all these consumers in a dark loophole against washing away all the sins that builders have done and writing on the economic progress and development progress of our country, washing away all with the waves of
Pankaj-
this kind of RERAs, washing away all that we have written? In
Pankaj
fact,
Kapoor, now my concern right now is with people who are waiting for homes that are not being delivered.
Yeah.
Will this rule in its current form help them in any way?
You know, in a sense, I've seen that there could be a practical answer which we need to really search. We can probably continue going back to the developer who have defaulted and say that you have done something wrong, go into the jail, and you will be penalized in this particular manner. You know, Bandelkar says that yes, we made mistakes. It's okay. But the way the rule suggests is that, like, assuming the receivable is less than less than the construction cost going to be incurred, those receivable, the consumer, the builder will not be able to take it back. There could be cases where the developer has taken away 95% and all those things. Frankly speaking, there could be a legal consumer forums through which I think redressals can be taken up. But I'm saying going forward,
this regulator should have been the solution for all of that.
That the industry is, reaches to standstills. We get into kind of every single project into a legal fight. I think to some extent I see the kind of a solution which has been provided is okay. Which is like, in the sense they say that if the receivable is less than the construction cost, builder can't even withdraw 70%.
In fact, they could have.
He should not be allowed to receive anything.
But that is mentioned.
If he has diverted all the money and he's not finished the project, he should not be allowed to receive anything. That project should be taken over and handed to a contractor who can finish it on his behalf. He's obviously unable to do his job.
I agree. I think that is the provision there in the
Ownership of Flats Act, a builder is required to maintain a separate bank account in respect of all payments receivable by him in respect of a project. This has been the law since 1963.
Let us be honest about the number of developers in Mumbai who are at Mumbai High Court every day, unable to pay their interest, unable to finish their projects, unable to compensate their customers.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I say that 42%.
I'm not generalizing. I know there are several developers who are finishing their projects on time as per collections. They should have no problems at all.
Yes,
what is the problem then for them to escrow? If construction is happening at construction linked, if they have collected what they have completed and completed what they have collected, what is their problem then?
As far as I am seeing that there are major loopholes and all these things has happened because my method and procedure related to the real estate was such that, in fact, if you see that bank disperse the developers with the accelerated funding. So even though construction linked, he finishes 20%, his disbursement happens close to 40%. So if you look at the mechanism and system itself was wrong.
So here's my question.
And that is where the
regulator let down the home buyer?
Abuse the consumer, abuse the industry.
Has the regulator let down the home buyer? Yes or no?
I see, because what kind of a thing they have mentioned about the transparency, I certainly say that it is.
Okay, Mr. Parimal Shroff first and then Rohit Gera. Parimal Shroff, go ahead.
I would like to say that this particular act has made some sort of a headway for the purpose of ongoing projects are also sought to be included, and all for future projects there is supposed to be a complete roadmap which has been done. Now, are we wanting to put the clock back? And are we wanting to have, on account of this ongoing project, and bring back 70%, this particular movement, if we try to insert into this particular law, then in that event there is going to be a deadlock.
Are you
which will not
absolving
resolve.
developers of sins of past? We're starting with a clean slate. Is that what you're saying to me? That we're starting with a clean slate? And if I'm currently waiting for a building that is not complete, is criminal court my only option?
No, I would like to say
let me just answer this.
No, there are two situations which we all must understand on this show. Number one, those who are governed by the MOFA 1964, they have failed to carry out their obligations. They are taken to task by the judiciary, whether in the civil court or in the consumer court or in the criminal court. Leave that aside. Now, this new law is providing for a road ahead. which has been provided for, and let's discuss the rules which have got so many aspects of the matter which can probably bring in more of a public opinion and help before 23rd of December suggestions and objections which the government will be able to incorporate in these rules if there are constructive suggestions made.
Okay, all right.
Let's make a progress further on that count.
I must reiterate that point, the fact that you have until the 23rd of December to go onto the website of the government of Maharashtra and make your suggestions if you believe that this is, that there are suggestions that you can make of these rules. Rohit Gera, I promised that I'll give you an opportunity to rebut the retrospective escrow, after which Uday Vavekar. Rohit Gera, go ahead.
Okay, you asked a question that has the regulator or has the government let down the home buyers? I want to answer that. I think for the most part, for every future home buyer, certainly not. I agree with Mr. Shroff that it's a huge positive for all future purchases. Okay. Let's go back then to one lot of people who are currently who have purchased where things are moving along smoothly. There's no issues there either. There is a handful, and it may be a large number, of people who are in a very, very bad situation because of horrible actions taken by developers, diverting of money and so on. I don't think the intent of this single law was to actually try and solve the problem of 100% of the problem for 100% of the people. I think if we are expecting that every single last home buyer would get it resolved, I think we were hoping for something too much. Having said that, I think it's now time, those customers who are affected and aggrieved, there are other sections under the same act which says you can take over the project. You can get the funds inside. We have to together as an industry with the regulator, with the government, find a solution for every last home buyer. But I think that we can't expect one law and a lynch mob mentality to get those people their homes.
All right, so here's what we are gathering at this point, that the real estate regulator will help every home buyer starting now. If you made a bad buy and you have a developer who has not delivered, leave that aside. Your hope continues to remain either consumer court or criminal court. Those are your options. Those were your options before the regulator came about. It has not helped whatsoever. S. Radhakrishnan is on the phone line from Mumbai. S. Radhakrishnan, go ahead. What would you like to say?
Yeah, good evening, madam. The Gera representative was telling the act was passed taking into account the blackmailing and other things, Don's threat to the builders, etc., etc.
Yes.
But this is happening only in Maharashtra. The Karnataka government has passed the act where the retrospective effect they are given. They are given the website, every detail is given. There the builders are not afraid of any blackmailing or any underground gundas and other things. Why only in Maharashtra they are worried about the gundas and blackmailing and other things? Because
but the gundas being referred to here are RTI activists. Let's be very clear. We're not worried about the underworld. We're worried about RTI activists at this point. Uday Vavekar, I want to bring up a second point here.
Yes.
And this again for me, personally, I thought was absolutely outrageous. And I challenge anybody on this panel, anyone on this panel, to rebut me on this point. Now, included in the cost of construction that will be escrowed, and remember viewers, the higher you make the cost of construction, the more a developer can withdraw. So it makes sense to include all possible costs into the cost of construction so you can withdraw as far as possible. Now, fair enough, it says we will include taxes, fees, charges, premium, interest. Then it goes on to say, principal sums and interest payable to any financial institution, scheduled bank, non-scheduled bank for the real estate project, which is also fine. Money lenders, principal and rate and interest payable to money lenders can be taken as cost of construction. Now, in this same government that is spending so much time and energy demonetizing, making our system cashless, making our system accountable, making sabzi-walas open bank accounts, why is the real estate industry suddenly allowed to use money lenders and then deduct it from your escrow account? What is this loophole that we are creating for the real estate industry?
Faye?
Yes, go ahead. Please explain this to me.
Faith, we must appreciate that Faith, try and understand that under the RBI credit policy, the banks are not giving advances for the purpose of construction. NBFCs come by. Non-banking financial companies are advancing money largely to the real estate industry today in the hope of getting return. Now, whether they fall in a category of money lender, They fall in a category of financial institutions.
They're financial
Is it not a
institutions,
reality
Mr. Parimal
that
Shroff,
real estate industry,
NBFCs are
like any other
financial
industry, borrows the money?
NBFCs are financial institutions, Mr. Parimal
There is
Shroff.
one major loophole here.
But people
Let's
don't
put
take
this
it from
way.
a private money lender money.
The term money lenders has not been defined. Now, when the term money lenders has not been defined,
Correct.
the provisions of the Usurious Loans Act would come into place, where interest of up to 18%, 20% plus can be assumed. So here you have the rules which say that the penalty to a buyer shall be payable at the lending rate plus 2%. There, a builder can claim that I have borrowed at 18% per annum, so I have to pay penalty and so on at 18%.
Okay, Uday
Your
Bhavekar.
18%
Yeah.
will outweigh
Uday
this
Bhavekar,
10%.
Aditya and Parimal Shroff, tell me this, Uday Bhavekar.
Yes.
So a developer can technically say that I borrowed from my uncle at 40%, so I'm going to take
24.
this.
Why?
It doesn't matter. Money lenders are not regulated by the RBI or by anybody else. They can charge whatever they want.
I am
They
really
can-
surprised.
Yeah.
All the tactics which were really condemned have been opened in this RERA, and it is a haven for builder for the simple reason that the money which was coming, as you rightly said, from various black money holders into the real estate. I did not name them. If you check up the booking records of the Benami transactions in the others, that itself will speak, including redevelopment, is now turned as a money lender, and there is no definition of money lender, and Mr. Shroff says financial institutes are not registered. I am surprised.
Financial institutions,
and
scheduled
the
banks,
same Mr.
non-banking
Gera,
finance
and
companies
same Mr.
or
Gera, they
money
cannot
lenders.
be money lenders. Same Mr. Gera said that today everybody is putting mortgages in the bank, and the era of banking is going to come, and the clean money is going to come in. This is a bypass given. Look at the ways of bypass in this RERA which are being given. Number 2, parking has been allowed to
one
be
second,
sold.
Uday Bhavekar, we'll go point by point.
Yes.
I want everybody to have their say on this money lender point, because I think it's a slap in the face of every Indian home buyer and every Indian citizen who's being forced to open a bank account to buy sabzi. That you will say that money lenders are allowed in the real estate industry. What is the real estate industry doing that is so special that you're allowing money lenders? Pankaj Kapoor.
Yeah, Faye, I just want to add to the point which Parimal Shroff sir has started. Builders don't get funding from the bank for buying the lands. Lands have been forbidden by the RBI. So builder has to go to NBFC or to the private landowners to take the money.
Okay.
Banks are not allowed to fund to the lands, and that's a basic reason why NBFCs are required in the real estate. Builder does not need the money for construction.
is a financial institution. There is no problem.
No,
with the
it
financial
is.
institution.
Yeah, it is. But their desirability.
No.
You have
See,
several private
Pankaj,
equities
okay.
in
Gentlemen,
money
gentlemen,
lenders, they will
gentlemen,
be
gentlemen,
You
one
look
second,
at
one second, one
practical
second.
aspects.
Let me read the rules as they stand. Uday Bhavekar, let me read the rules. Okay, and I'm reading off the paper here. It says, paid or payable to any financial institutions, including scheduled banks, non-banking finance companies, etc. This is a very loosely worded set of rules, by the way. Maharashtra government, you could have done better in clarifying a lot of these things. What is etc. in the middle of this? Non-banking financial companies, etc. or money lenders. Tell me who money lenders are.
Many lenders
Are we
means the
insisting?
fictitious loans.
Are we insisting that these money lenders
have?
have transferred their money completely by NTFE, and they've done all net banking transfers? All of this has been done by check. Everything has been documented. You can actually trace it back to your bank account. Let's bring up all of this demonetization conversations that we've been having over the last 3 weeks. There is nowhere in this does it mention that any of these lending has to have been done on check or by banking transfer, or any of it needs to be justified. Tell me where the Maharashtra government gets off giving developers a massive, big loophole like this. Rajan Bandelkar, what is the justification?
See, this money lenders means the way everybody told that the lands were not funded till now. See, we met even RBI governor and we mentioned to them that after demonetization, it is the government also and the banks also should think from the point of it to give loans on the purchasing lands.
You're not answering my question.
Yeah, so I will come to that question.
Yes.
See, basic is that here the money lenders, what we would go in the suggestion objection, we can tell government to specify money lenders. See, whatever is in their mind, if they specify this, because the way he has told it is not specified. The moment they specify, the moment they specify, it will become very clear.
When the RERA
Wait for this,
came,
okay.
RERA was came for ongoing as well as new. And now you are saying you concentrate only on new.
totally
and now we are
shifting.
talking about money lenders, and the intention of the government, legislature comes to know
If somebody,
that
if
they
somebody
want
has
to
paid the money, from where he will collect?
No,
He has to
this
collect
also
back
brings
his
up
money
the
at
question
least,
of
whatever the...
constitutionality. How can the rules go beyond the act? If the act says that new and ongoing projects are covered, these rules are carving out an illegal statutory exception by limiting the coverage of ongoing projects. Someone can even challenge these rules in the High Court.
My
And
dear
this is
friend,
I still, so I hope someone
Both the-
challenges this
both the-
money
this
lender
is-
point in the
Wait,
High
this
Court.
is contradictory to original RERA. You have to be in line with original RERA. We are totally out of line of the original
So
RERA
why,
given by
why,
law.
And there's one more point to be raised here.
Act was repealed. That is the
I
reason,
want-
because it was completely
Wait,
diluted.
Parimal Shroff,
It was
Parimal Shroff has a
completely
point to
one-sided.
make. Mr. Parimal Shroff, go ahead.
Is it not a reality that the builders do borrow from the private lenders, which can be called money lenders? There is a money lenders act in this
bureaucrats
country.
can be called money
It is not
lenders.
so that this is
Good
not
point.
possible to
Film
be
lines will be
audited.
called money
It is not
lenders.
possible to be checked.
Mr.
No.
There is one point to be noted here.
Not after the 8th of
Every
November,
time
Mr.
you borrow
Parimal
money
Shroff,
from
I'm
a
very
money
sorry.
lender, it does
Not
not
after
become
the
a-
8th of
not a
November.
clean money.
Can we
No,
say
Faye,
And
I
there is
think-
nothing to do with the demonetization
it
and
has
money
everything
lenders.
to do with demonetization?
No,
That's
one more important thing here is when in this industry, when lending happens,
No,
people
there is
don't
nothing
even
to do with
register
that.
the instrument.
It's
the
a part
instruments
of
lending.
reality.
They just write on a
There is
slip of
nothing to
paper,
do
I'm
with
lending
that.
3
Come
crores. They'll affix a 1 or 2
Come
rupee
on.
revenue stamp. That's it.
No, so okay, so
There is
why
no
can't
transparency at
the
all.
real estate industry put up with some short-term pain for the long-term gain of clearing up this industry? The rest of us are supposed to. Why are we making allowances for the real estate industry, saying this is the truth, so let's make an allowance for the people who unofficially poured cash into this industry, pumped up the prices, who now need to be paid back? Too bad.
So are we switching the conversation away from RERA and now on to demonetization?
I'm still
happy to have
waiting
that
for someone,
conversation.
Rohit Gera, to give me a justification for why money lenders have been mentioned in the rules. Please, somebody offer me a justification for why money
So-
lenders have been mentioned in the rules.
And who are they?
And who are these money lenders?
So look, I think
Let us
let me
understand
try and respond to this. Okay. Firstly, I think that for us to assume that anybody and a high net worth individual who has check funds post-tax who lends it to a developer should be treated with any level of disdain. I agree with you that people who are giving cash and so on, that needs to be out of the window. But there are high net worth individuals who do advance money to developers, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
You require an RBI
This is
license.
utopia, Mr. Gera. You are quoting utopia.
And this is you require
I'm
an
sorry?
RBI license for that. How can you allow somebody?
Which means you will pop in
If-
the investors.
You are assuming that the world is
See,
perfect.
What is going to
Just
happen
one
is
second.
you are
Perfect
bringing
place
the
after all.
investors in the form of money lenders, and then you will offer them a higher rate of interest, and the speculation will go up. Where we want a transparency, we want speculation should not be there. The industry should grow. Instead of that, we want to go with old method only.
Not only that, you will allow them dummy flats.
No. Hang on one second.
Benami flats.
Hang on one second.
Which
Hang on one
is
second.
happening now.
All I did was explain the term which Faye was asking about money lenders. My response as far as this piece about being able to withdraw the principal and bringing, look, I don't understand why this has been brought in. I'm telling you as a developer, we don't have any private, money lender category of funds that we borrow. And, I think we need to ask the government representatives what is the logic for this, and maybe somebody will be able to respond to it.
This is plain denial.
Well,
What do you mean this is denial?
does seem, and I'm going to ask Rajan
What are you
Padelkar
talking
this
about
question. It
denial?
does
It's
seem
like
that there was a
switching the stands now.
representation made by the industry to the
Desperate
government
item.
to include these private individuals who have lent money to the industry. Now, clarity
Faye,
is all
come
we're
on.
asking.
I don't
Who
know how
are
you can
money
say
lenders?
the industry.
No, but okay, hang on. Rohit Gera, these rules apply to the full industry. Now, I can't sit here and
Absolutely.
name developers personally. I could have a list. I will do that if I had enough time, but I don't. My point is the government has chosen to use the phrase money lenders. They have not said high net worth individuals who have lent money. They have not said people who have lent money on a private basis. They have used the word money lenders. And let's not be naive about the fact that money lenders is a very familiar term in this country. We all know what it means. Rajan Padelkar, please tell me as an Indian, what does the phrase money lender mean to you?
The solution to this is only when they publish the full rules, they have to define money lenders. The moment they define money lenders, the way you said, high net individuals or private finances, see, the way everybody
Sure,
knows
high
that.
net
I'll add to
individuals
this.
would
Yeah,
be
there are a couple of
completely
interesting
upset
provisions
about
to be
being
added
referred
here.
to as money lenders,
Well,
but okay, go ahead.
There is one way to regulate money lenders though. Under the Bombay Money Lenders Act, a money lender has to be registered and he cannot charge a rate of interest greater than 15%. Violation is a cognizable offence, and moreover, he has to obtain this license from the registrar of the Cooperative Housing Society. So we do have an act to regulate money lenders, which is
So
the
there you go,
Bombay
that answers-
Money Lenders
that
Act.
answers your
But
question.
yes,
Who is the money
this
lender?
increases the scope of litigation. That's for sure.
All right, so that's very
Well, thank
good.
you, but
If
you've
there is-
defined what is a money lender.
We've defined what is a money lender, which is great. So
Yeah.
now we expect the
Absolutely.
Maharashtra government to include in the RERA rules that the money lender being mentioned under this particular clause, which is explanation number 3, for the benefit of the government on page 10, when you say money lenders, please specify that you refer to registered money lenders as per the law and not private high net individuals who might have passed on cash to the real estate industry. Let's now talk about the fact that
And we can also fix the interest rates.
we can
because
also
it's-
fix the interest. Yeah, the interest rates are being regulated. So don't turn around
15%
there.
is the rate.
Absolutely.
He can't quote
15%.
some cash loan.
We'll expect that as a clarification from the Maharashtra government, who very ambiguously included the word money lenders in the real estate regulatory rules. Also, builders are allowed to give discounts using discretion to buyers who pay majority of installments in advance. Uday Vavekar.
This is again like opening the floodgate of not compliance of the project and collecting the entire money in advance, which was not allowed under Maharashtra Flat Ownership Act.
But if the buyer is willing to take that risk, what is wrong with that?
See, 1 minute, I'll come to it. One buyer willing to take a risk is a different option. Here the option will be given of discount. Not only even without discount, people are luring people and following them up today to collect more than what construction has been done. Where is a check on construction?
No, I really don't understand. Buyers are ready to take the risk. Then why the regulator is required? So far, buyers were taking a risk and everything was happening. If you have got a regulator has to regulate. If there are SEBI rules, it has to be like that. And you are saying one will pay more, he will take more risk. So there has to be regulation.
But isn't
As per the
this
Constitution.
frankly a
disparity.
loophole that allows bulk buying of property?
Yes, it will be investors' transactions and it's a
and
domain for
so
investors.
what?
Look at 1 minute. Look at the MOFA Standard Schedule 5 agreement which we follow. That was to be adopted in RERA. We'll have to check on that. The Schedule 5 agreement says that builder shall not take more than 20% at the booking rate. Thereafter, he has to take as per the agreement, as per the completion of the construction, and that is defined under the act, defined to safeguard the buyers from the exploiting builders, from the unscrupulous builders who will collect the cash entirely in advance by giving luring discount.
Okay, let me get Parimal Shroff in on this. Parimal Shroff, where do you stand on the fact that builders are allowed on their discretion to offer discounts to customers who pay upfront?
My take on this particular provision in the model agreement, which has been annexed to the RERA rules, is this: that under the MOFA in 1986 we came up with the model agreement. Now that model agreement had provided for a straitjacket theory, and there was a view that you can't make an amendment. Now this particular new model agreement under the RERA rule provides that this is merely about non-statutory and mandatory provisions. One can really change and adapt to it. One of the offers which have been given is it's a freedom of contract which has been recognized here. That if a buyer meets with a developer who is supposed to be a standard developer who has done a substantial work, and they want to really avail the benefit of
this is the
discount
complete dilution
and get
of the
some sort of a
agreement.
bargain,
The agreement can be
then in
made
that
the way
event there is a
developer
freedom
wants. This
to
is
really
the
select that.
very
Now what is wrong
draconian
about that?
provision. In fact, there has to be certain regulation.
I agree.
No,
Wait, can I just
there is nothing
come in
draconian
for
about it.
1 second?
You must understand that the buyer in this country is very well aware and is very conscious about his rights and what is in his interest.
then
those
why-
who are
Mr.
willing to
Shroff,
provide
Mr.
the
Shroff,
lawyers
let's be
who
honest
not
about the
required
fact
by law to
that
pay.
developers in this country
That
can
should be
hire
clear.
lawyers
We
to
are
run
not
circles
required.
around any buyer. The buyer is not in any way smarter than the developer when it comes to buying homes. Rohit Gera, go ahead.
I have just a simple question. We've got lawyers on the panel, and the point is this. If I choose to give somebody a discount and he pays an advance payment, that money has to still come into the same bank account. I can take out 30% of that. The remaining 70 has to only come out from the account on the same formula. So I don't understand. What is the big fuss? Can somebody just help me understand what the fuss is?
I'll help you.
Uday Vavekar. It's a
I'll
good
help
point.
you,
He's
Rohit.
making a fair point.
The idea of fixing up stage-wise payments was that you complete the construction. If you don't complete the construction, you don't get the pay. Now here, you are giving somebody, those who will buy my buffalo, buy my cat, buy my cat for 10 lakhs, I will give him my buffalo for 2,000. Is that correct? It's an unfair trade practice, absolutely. You are not linking it to performance.
Uday Vavekar, I
I'm
didn't
sorry,
follow
I
that
got lost
analogy.
between cats and
I just
buffaloes. I'm
want to explain
sorry.
here. What happens
No,
is when
there
you
is
get
no
a bulk money,
comparison between
out of
this
that
and
money,
that.
70% will go to escrow account. Once it goes to escrow account, the land cost and the borrowing, interest, whatever you have invested, you can withdraw because that is a part of the construction. So that means you will be, doing a
Okay, all
speculation.
right. I need to introduce one more point.
Yeah.
Pankaj,
You
go
know,
ahead. And then
I have to run the economics of the real estate in this sense. If you look at builders are not getting money for land, so they have to go and get this money from elsewhere. That's where the money lender things came in, and we really sorted it out. Having said they have to spend for the approval and every other thing. For that, they have a cost of approval. We are also facing a problem where the selling price have gone so high that the consumer can't really afford it. Builders are looking at cheaper means of finances. So if someone is selling at a cheaper rate in order to take care of his initial equity, by which he gets a viable proposition for his project, I do not see there's any dismerit to this provision. By saying that you're not allowed to do that, that means I'm adding more burden
You're
to
adding more
him,
pressure.
and
Okay.
eventually I am adding burden to the consumer. So it's a vicarious way of burdening consumer rather than solving the problem.
Let me just quickly take a phone call. Shailesh is on the phone line from Mumbai. Shailesh, go ahead.
Faye, hi. First things first. I think this is a great forum for common people like us, and I'm your average Mumbaikar,
Yes. Mute your television in the background, Shailesh. Go ahead. We can hear you.
I will. I think.
Go ahead. We're running out of time.
Okay. You see, I as a flat buyer, I bought a flat in Goregaon from a builder. I saw this gentleman sitting out here from the lobby, saying, "Oh, they are not buying stuff from a store. They need to exercise more due diligence and whatever." In my case, and I'm sure it has been happening in millions of houses across this country, I took a loan from a nationalized bank, from an agency which did the due diligence, and despite that, my property was sold to 5 builders. The search reports revealed that subsequently. There are about 150 people who finally got conned out of this whole deal, and there's this gentleman sitting out here, "Oh, you do your own due diligence." By the way, when I take a loan, the due diligence is done by the bank which does that for me. So despite that, if we got conned, I don't know what this gentleman is talking about. In effect, what it comes out is this entire law is diluting the existing provisions done by the lobby to keep their backsides covered.
Absolutely correct.
Rohit Gera, do you want to respond to that? He was talking about the comment that you made earlier that customers should do their own research.
Look, I think it's essential that people do their own due diligence for whatever they buy. Okay, if there isn't a legal process for where somebody has to go through stuff like this, it's a shame on the developer who's involved with this kind of practice. I have nothing else to say, but the person should be in jail.
And how are we going to do that if we keep watering down the rules? I want to introduce another
Well,
point.
these
here.
rules have got nothing to do with that. This is a criminal offense.
What's the point of a real estate
This is a
regulation?
criminal offense.
Customers to do their own diligence.
I don't understand.
If customers
Faith,
would have
this is
been
a
expected
criminal
to do their own
offense. This guy
diligence,
needs to be
then there would
jailed
have been no
overnight.
RERA in the first place. The aim of RERA is to ensure that information is transparent, freely available, so that people do not spend precious time and energy running around government offices,
I have
filing
more
RTI appeals,
information on
and
a
running
five-
after petty information.
I have more information on the
Okay.
internet on a 500 rupee mutual fund than I have about a 1 crore rupee apartment that I'm going to buy. And I think that this industry needs to make its peace with the fact that disclosure is the new normal. I have a new point to introduce. Uday Vavekar, Rajan Bandelkar, respond to this. These are the exemptions of homes that do not come under the regulator. Now, obviously, any sort of home that is doing repairs, any sort of home that's doing renovation, which is fair. The third exemption says, in case a real estate developer is redeveloping an entire home, but it does not open it up for sale, then no registration is required and it doesn't get regulated by the regulator. So basically, this is what it means. If you are 100 people in an apartment building, you decide to redevelop that apartment building, but not open it up to anybody else. You're going to keep it within that 100 people. You get a developer to help you out as a contractor to finish that job. If that developer runs away with your money, you cannot be helped by this regulator. That is what effectively, if I'm not mistaken.
There is one more I would like to add here.
Yes.
In fact, if you see, it uses the term rehabilitation. It even means that people in slum rehabilitation schemes,
Are
in
not
tenancy
regulated.
redevelopment schemes, they may not get the benefits of a registered project. Are you trying to discriminate between a slum dweller, a tenancy dweller, and a person who's buying on commercial basis?
Uday
That is what has
Bhavekar.
been,
See,
tried.
I will-
all the regulatory bodies in which
here
all the
there
government
is
body
an
was supposed
very-
to come, that also has been diluted. They have taken away. SIDCO, SRA, all these people who are doing a redevelopment projects or the conveys, all these provisions have been diluted.
Not
removed.
only that,
Carved out.
I would like to add to what Ramesh said, is today it is very absolutely contradictory. First of all, you say this is available only to a rehab portion and they will not be registered under RERA, and that will not have any allotment or a sale of any flat. That is what that provision is saying. How can you say in a breath two contradictory things? None of the redevelopment in city of Bombay or any city goes without sale portion of the flats.
Right. Rajan
There is
Bandekar.
no 100% rehab.
No, but if there is 100% rehab, if there is 100% rehab, it's not regulated. If there is sale, then it's regulated, which is fair.
No,
Especially in
if
project
there is a
affected
100%
tenements.
rehab and you take a contractor,
But is
then he
there-
must be monitored.
But
How
is
can you
there
say it's an
any such
housing
project?
development authority?
I see that it will not, of any interest to the developer to rehab the things where he does not have
Rajan, one second,
benefit.
Rajan Bandekar is going
I'm
to
saying
say
that.
yes.
These people are misunderstanding it. This is only for a contracting. See, contracting doesn't come under this. See, if there is no sale of flats, it's no point unnecessarily it is going under RERA. Because the authority unnecessarily it will have to register. It's just a contracting, the way you, other things you do. The same way the person is, they have appointed a contractor and they are reconstructing it.
We are talking of development activities.
No,
We are
no, no,
talking
no.
of
There are several- there are several
This is
cases
very
of-
And
clear.
fail more often than not. Fail.
Especially public
Then
housing.
it is a
No,
contracting
and especially,
only.
No. I am arguing the point of rehabilitation.
I beg to differ you. I beg to differ on this.
There are
One second,
several
one second.
slum redevelopment schemes
No, no, no.
where only rehab tenements are
There is no
constructed
point
and the
because
DDR
this
is
rules
Okay,
are
one by one, gentlemen, one by one.
Visit the
One
section
second. If we all talk at the same time, the audience can't understand us and we defeat our purpose. Uday Bhavekar, very quickly, and then
Very
I'm going to bring
quickly.
other
Look at
voices.
this section 2 of MOFA, and Parimal Shroff would join me in this. We said that the developer is a person who wants to develop. The person to whom contract of developing is given, and the person who is going to sell it also. Even the brokers were included. Now, if they are not the same paper as the developer, here the society wants to develop. Assuming that you put a contractor, he becomes a developer, and anybody who's so here the sale is out. So both of them are the landlord, the developer, and the person who is selling it. So
Parimal Shroff.
Therefore,
contractor.
that was very clear, and therefore the contractor would become
Uday
developer.
Bhavekar, the point that Rajan
Situation
Bandekar
is-
is making is that contractors
So
should
far
not
as
be
RERA is
regulated, but
concerned,
Parimal Shroff,
there is
go ahead.
Section 3. No, Section 3 of the RERA itself has made it clear that if you are redeveloping for your self-consumption and there is no element of sale or marketing, then in that event this law does not apply. Like the lease portion, it does not apply if you are doing something for the purpose of letting out or is
Okay.
going to be offered
I want
as
to
your property.
introduce one more
It is
very
not
quick
covered by
point.
this
Mr.
law.
Shroff, I want to
Now,
introduce one
RERA
more very
rules
quick
has
point.
not made any new platform.
Okay, very quick point because we only have 5 minutes to go. Now, it is said
me.
in the law that 2/3 written consent is necessary from all people who've bought homes in a particular building if that building is going to be modified or if the plan is going to be modified. Now, this rule that came out today says previous consent will not be necessary if the modification is required to be made by the promoter in compliance to any direction or order issued by a competent authority. Now, I want the members of this panel to help me understand, is that a problem? Is that not a problem? Who wants to answer this first?
Problem because when
Why?
the law was made, 2/3 people consent
I
is
will tell
required.
you that
when the law is very
this
clear that
particular
2/3
provision
person
has a
consent is
root
required, it has to be
into
obtained.
that there has been a new DC regulation
Yes.
under
Mr. Shroff, go ahead.
If there is an authority wants changes to be made, then the ongoing project which have been covered by the new law, that should be permitted and the 2/3 consent should not be applied. That's the intent of this particular rule.
All right, Rajan.
And I see no
Rajan
problem in
Bandel.
that at all.
I will explain you this positively.
Yes.
See what happens today when we get approval for the first FSI, then we buy TDR and then we go for a fungible premium. So we get approval in various stages. So they have made it very clear whatever you propose. See, on the day one we have to propose what we are going to build, and what we are going to build, we cannot propose what is out of the law. So today everybody knows that we are going to get, as per today's DC rule, we are getting in Bombay we get 2.7 as a FSI, 2 as a plus 0.7 as fungible, but we don't get approval on the day one. But the moment when we get first approval of one FSI and we start selling, if we go and tell a customer to give the consent, I don't think anybody would give the consent. It's very clear. So let me complete. You can come afterwards. So what happens is whenever we propose on the day one what we are going to construct, so he buys knowing that what we are going to construct.
Okay.
So when we don't
get one thing,
in fact,
so it's a positive move. If you really see, it's a positive move.
Several disputes happen when after starting construction, builders keep amending their plans.
Exactly.
They keep seeking more and more bounties of FSI. So they will submit fresh proposals and that statutory approval will come in. After which, they will claim that, we don't need consent. In fact, this particular provision is very poorly worded because they could have specified that if for a public project some land is required, like a metro or something, then they can ask the developer to surrender the land without the consent.
Or if
but
rules
here
are
it's a very
changed,
poorly worded provision.
or like Mr. Shroff said, if the DC rules are changed, then
That's
does
a
it make it
different story.
applicable to something that has already started construction? And, while there was some smirking that happened on the panel, let me point out, we know of cases of developers who are affiliated to large groups like CREDAI and NAREDCO who have modified their plans and then come to a grinding halt and people have not received their homes because they were looking to increase the FSI that was available to them. So this then, does it open up a loophole in similar cases? Uday Vavekar?
This opens up total loophole to similar cases. Let me give you an example. A builder puts a plan in the agreement to the 10th floor, then he changes to 12th floor and builds 12 floors, then the pollution control board will say, or aviation authority will come and say that this is not possible, you break. Monies have been collected, flats have been sold, and then you will say mandate. Under section 7 of MOFA was very clear that unless it is a total new 7A was saying that unless there is a disclosure, the disclosure has to be right from first at the agreement stage. How can you build another construction tomorrow just because you get a mandate of authority? Under the mandate,
so, okay,
you will get a permission.
let's just agree on the fact
Here
that
also they are told very clear that we have to, on the day one, we have to say disclosure.
Correct.
What is the
Complete
proposed plan? So the moment, what you are telling, section 7 has come here, on the day one,
proposed plan, Mr. Bandekar, that will not be released to on the website. A proposed plan that will not be released on the website.
It is
submitted to the authority.
The quantum of FSI is always fixed. Builders keep getting more approved. They keep changing the plans because the DC regulations keep conferring FSI. When the fact remains under the general clauses
so here's my question.
Anything which is done under previous law, it cannot be affected.
And we've run out of time, unfortunately. But this 50 pages of rules, viewers, requires far more scrutinizing and far more debate. Yes, very quickly.
There is one more outrageous provision in this act. It says any person who wants to file a complaint before the RERA has to pay a fee of rupees 10,000. It is outrageous because in no court is a fee more than a small fraction or maybe 1,000 or something. No court in India charges 10,000 rupees as a filing fee.
Whereas for the developer to register 1 rupee per square meter.
1 rupee per
1 rupee per square meter.
Developer is given
It's outrageous.
Let me also point out that before we wrap up the show, and I want to point this out to our audience, I've got it marked in the contract that has been specified by this rule. It says very clearly, the allottee hereby agrees to purchase from the promoter parking spaces.
The license has been given to sell the parking
spaces,
on the terrace,
which was up till now not available for sale, which had to be, according to the High Court of Mumbai, given to every homeowner who bought a home. Now, developers will be allowed to sell parking spaces. So, Rajan, unfortunately, I've run out of time. I will do another debate, I promise you. And if you're watching at home, you should send us your questions because it is a great set of rules. If we are assuming a wonderful world in which all developers are honest and all developers follow the rules. Unfortunately, we do not live in that world, viewers. And in that case, it leaves us as home buyers terribly exposed again to cheating. We have 15 days as home buyers to put forth our points to the government of Maharashtra. All is not lost. We're going to make a list of those points and we're going to put them forth. My contact details are on your screen. Thank you so much for watching. Stay with Magic Bricks now.
You can watch live TV on our website mpnow.in. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/magicbricksnow. And don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at magicbricksnow. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/magicbricksnow.